Nope, not at all.
Perfect, perfect. So I'm not sure which group was in which room, but I'm gonna just pick actually, who was in room number 1? If I can have someone from room number 1 speak out and just say for 45 seconds, what was your biggest challenge?
Lloyd, Nena, and Vishal.
Myself. Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't even know what room I was in, so that's why I didn't answer. But basically, the biggest challenge I think our group had was the fact that we are feeling a little bit limited by the fact that we are online. At least from my point of view, when I was meeting in person, I was able to generate 2 to 3 referrals per week. And now that I'm, sort of stuck here, not meeting with people, personally, I do find it a struggle to even come up with 1 referral on a weekly basis. So that was, and that's what we sort of both came down on and thought that that was our biggest challenge.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. Okay, room number 2.
That would be Harvey, Kim, and Leanne.
Awesome.
We have just deal, similar struggles, but one thing that came out from the conversation is that if someone is new to town or someone is just browsing, whether they're in the store or just on the street, and says, hey, let's meet for coffee, just basically like how to join, how to make them feel welcome. And one thing that came out was that, here's my business card. If you need some assistance from a service providers or other individuals in the town or city, call me and I'll guide you. So when you call, and of course, then we have all of our chapter members in our head says, yeah, I can help you in finding that person. So there's different tactics we can also use.
Awesome, interesting. Thank you so much for that, Harvey. And room number 3.
Yeah, I think what our room got was it's been very difficult to build those relationships online, especially with people whom you've never met. And conversations have been very direct in that sense. There's hardly been any, the small talk, and we are able to sort of have those conversations, and you're able to inquire a little more to actually identify a referral. All of that's just not happening. It's been very, very, very direct. So I think the whole relationship building part is the key element that's been missing in terms of referral generation.
Awesome, perfect. I love it. Okay, so hopefully the next part will kind of guide us into what I feel, anyways, that can be quite useful for us. These are challenges, typical challenges for I think chapters across not just our country, our province, but across the world, I'm sure. And typically when I talk to people, this is some of the responses I have heard when I was preparing for this presentation. People said things like, I just don't go online, right? I don't have the time. Where should I post? If I find out where to post, can I just hire somebody to do this for me? And then of course, once you have the know-how to post online, where do you start? There's LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, right? And of course, I got my space, your space, our space as well. But yeah, where do you start? Where do you stop, right? At what point do you say, okay, I've done enough, right? Type of thing. But I don't believe you have to post it all 27 different platforms, right? To get the message out there. And the fact is, you just have to maybe settle on, in my case, let's say I do LinkedIn and Facebook, for example, and Instagram. Maybe that's just enough for me to focus on getting the word out there. Now, as I said earlier, the receiving process starts with us giving, and that is in line with our corporate philosophy of giversgain as well. So let's get into this one here. So of course, we've been living this pandemic for the last 15, 16 months or so, right? But we've learned to still give referrals. We've had to step out of the bounds in what we would have done. But listen, you and I still have bills to pay. That hasn't changed. This virus is here, the pandemic is here, but that hasn't changed. We still have a business to operate, right? So our connections have been on a screen versus in person, but all we can do there is adjust. And as we say, pivot as well, of course. But at the end of the day, if you were to go online, how difficult or how much time do you think it would actually take for you to refer somebody, or for you to find a referral for somebody else, with the hopes, of course, that they would return or reciprocate the referral to you? Let me give you one quick example here, okay? So in this case, it's going to be Facebook, but I want to show you how quick and easy it can be. right? Let's see. Okay, you have to forgive the music, of course, but the point is that took 1 minute and 20 seconds, right? So the main point here is like, I don't go around posting, in this case, for example, writing up everything all over and over and over again. I have these already set up in my notes, for example. So all you're doing is when you see this opportunity, similar to what you were saying, Harvey, when you see this opportunity, in my case, I'm simply copying and pasting and changing the person's name. This, you never know who else is going to be looking at this post online, right? So you're right, it is difficult when we're so, especially those of us who come from before or pre-COVID, to make that connection. But I guarantee you, this lets me, I probably average around 2 referrals a week just by doing this alone. So I think if you could spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes a week doing something like that, looking for these types of opportunities, do you think that could potentially help you? Right? So, sorry. So that's one of the things that I want to kind of share with you guys today. Being online is not difficult. It's different. Of course, it's different, right? The connection may not be as strong, but this might be the best thing you can do to either find, create, or get a referral, right? Is to basically promoting each other. Now, the key thing is we're talking about us giving a referral to somebody else. It would be amazingly awesome if you were able to do this, let's say, with your advocates, your fans, so to speak, your clients who just absolutely love you. If you were able to train them somehow, help them, guide them to say, by the way, if you ever see, somebody looking for HR services, HR consulting services of some sort, right? Here's my quick little snippet. Can you just copy and paste and just recommend me? There is no harm in us simply asking to be referred to somebody, or asking our clients, hey, here's who I'm looking for. Here's another thing that I truly believe we should be doing right now too, is when you're meeting with your clients, have what we call a BNI one-to-one with your clients, right? It may not be a typical one-to-one, but I guarantee you, when you leave there, there's a good potential that you're going to be walking out of there with somebody's name. Because when you ask the question to your client, for example, say, by the way, thank you so much for being a client of mine. I appreciate your support. Is there anything else that I can do for you? And it's amazing when they look at you and say, well, what do you mean anything? And Harvey, you can say, well, can I help you with a painter? Can I connect you to, a home inspector? Can I connect you to a realtor? So on and so forth. Simply posing that question opens up the door to, you just don't know what's possible out there. And like I say here, of course, the possibilities are truly endless. So I know it was very quick, but again, we're short on time today. And at the end, it comes down to you simply doing these activities. Now, people will say, well, Vishal, my day gets kind of busy and things like that. That's true. Our days do get busy, but here's the thing. We have to create time for this. So if it's every Tuesday afternoon at, 2:40, great, do that. It's every, Friday at 4 to 5, you're just kind of cruising the social media scene and just seeing what else is out there. Fantastic. But the point is, you need to belong to some of these groups that are out there, where you get a notification to say, hey, I am looking for a painter, right? Fantastic. You don't have to go on there looking for that. You get a notification yourself. And again, a simple fact of copying and pasting, it took me 1:20 in this case. You know, I've done some that are under a minute as well. But again, the more you have some of these, save them, right? Save them onto your notes section so that you can just simply copy and paste. But it really is just that easy. Going through some of my famous quotes. I love this one by Zig Ziglar. Not sure what happened there. You know, you can have everything in life that you want if you just give enough to other people what they want, right? This is so true. So we, in true givers gain philosophy, let's give those referrals out so that we end up getting something back as well. Jeff, how are we doing for time, my friend?
We are doing not bad.
Awesome.
What's our
That's
official
something
end
to
time for
chat.
this one?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
3:10 is our end time. So yeah, if you wanted time for Q&A, 4 more minutes maybe, and then Q&A.
Perfect. So I see we got something in the chat here. George, we do this in our chapter, sometimes 10 numbers up for the same person. And there's absolutely the numbers matter, right? If there's just one recommendation, hey, that's something that's better than nothing. But if 5, 6, 10 of you are recommending the same member, how can anybody ignore that? Like there's just no way, right? That's our chapter also created in Instagram. Absolutely, yeah. Like it's whatever your chapter is doing to get the word out there in promoting, and a simple job of copying and pasting, as you guys see, that doesn't take much work. It doesn't require a lot of time and effort. It gets something to get things going, but I promise you, right? Once you get a whole bunch of those names and little snippets saved, the copying and pasting becomes just that much more easy. Any questions, basically? Or comments or ideas? Thank you, Hitesh. No questions, comments, ideas? Everybody's good to go?
Hey, Vishal, I have a question.
Shoot.
So, you know, the example that you mentioned was typically, you know, the one that you showed was on Facebook. Now, is the conversation slightly different than on, let's say, a LinkedIn or some of the other platforms? Because, you know, they've got, like, LinkedIn is a very, very professional kind of a, you know, a platform. So
yeah,
how do you identify that?
Yeah, fantastic point. So yeah, in LinkedIn, my language changes a little bit. I have to tell you that for sure. Absolutely. The LinkedIn, my language is much more, I guess, business oriented. This is a little bit more of a, hey, I know a buddy of mine. Like Facebook allows you to be a little bit more flexible that way, but you're right. In LinkedIn, depending on your audience, you may have to change the languaging just a little bit so that it doesn't sound like, well, is this guy confused between Facebook and LinkedIn? What's happening here? So yes, that is a fantastic point. Thank you for raising it. No, that's great.
Something that my chapter is working on is, since almost all of us have websites, we're just building out kind of like little our partners page on our website. And it doesn't have to be a visible web page. It can be one that we share with our clients. That's a hidden page. And so say like, these are my, you know, trusted business partners, and it can have a list of people with like their company and their bio. And then that's something that we can share with people that we're working with.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic point, Jeff. Again, great reminder too. So for my clients, I typically leave them my referral worksheet before I leave there. And on the flip side of that, I also have, like Jeff said, I got a guy or a girl sheet, right? All my information from my current members or my BNI network, basically, without the names. There's no names or contact information. It just says home inspector, you know, painter, a videographer, right? And it just gets your client's mind kind of thinking about, hey, next time I have something, you know, I'm going to reach out to Vishal. A great example, one of my clients owns a pet store. I happened to go see him, I think it was a couple of weeks ago now. And I mentioned to him to say, by the way, is there anything else I can do for you? I really appreciate your business. He said, actually, yeah, do you know someone who can do commercial renos? I'm like, actually, I think I have a couple of people. And just like that, just by asking the question, you have the referral. Because I think oftentimes we make the mistake of not asking the question. And I think there's great power in simply being able to say, you know, I can help you with XYZ as well. Because of course he sees me as the guy who helps him with the payment processing. That's great. But I think there's tremendous value when I walk into his pet store now and he sees me as not just the guy who does the payment processing and the terminals and all that, but the guy who actually knows other people who can help his business essentially, right? So I've connected him with some IT people from BNI, some painters, as well as some roofing guys as well. And so trust me, he sees me as more than just the guy who does payment processing. And ultimately, that's all we want from our clients, right? Is for them to be able to see us as more than, just the service, the one service that we're providing for them. So I promise you, you ask the question to your clients each and every time, what else is there that I can help you with? It's gonna take them for a bit of a shock, but then they're like, hey, you were talking to me a couple of days ago, I need so-and-so, and off you go to the races. So at the minimum, whenever you can, however often you can, just ask the question, right? And I mean, your audience better than I do, obviously. But I mean, yeah, it's just a matter of us simply being able to promote each other, and not just one or two of them, but get a few of you promoting each other, right? Like that is a fantastic way to get the word out there, and not just the word out there, but the credibility. Because for in the case of a Facebook, there's going to be other people, recommending other people. But again, like we said before, if there's 5, 6, 10 of you doing the same things and recommending the same person, yeah, you just can't deny that, right? So yeah, thank you, Hitesh. Thank you guys for raising those points. Anything else? I mean, if you guys want to have a little bit more information, let's say if you want a copy of my referral worksheet, for example, along with the I have a guy or a girl sheet, you can reach out to me at the information here. But it has been absolutely a pleasure working with you guys, and I hope to hear back from you guys. So thank you so much for your time. It truly is appreciated. If there's no more further comments and questions, Jeff, are we okay to jump back to the main stage?
George has something in the chat. He said, don't forget, you can also put that info in your email signature. He has need a referral. I'm connected to a group of exceptional business owners and professionals. Contact me if you need an expert. So
absolutely. And that's something you don't even think about, right? It's just there all the time. You just respond, and it's fantastic. Yeah, I've seen that many people do that, as a matter of fact. I have to do that, as a matter of fact. So that's a good reminder for me also. Thank you, George, for that. That's fantastic. No, awesome. If there's no more questions, then we'll jump back to the main stage. Thank you again, guys, for being here, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much.